So we are going to continue from where we stopped. So hello. So let me output this. So let me output, copy this, copy path, so we know where we were. So we're in, okay, I need to copy the login. I need to go to the login page. So to the login page, so copy path, V, so I'm going to log in. I think I've forgotten, so I'm going to log in with, so this is our page. Okay, I think, yeah. So I'm going to log in with, let me use one of them, so me@gmail.com. So the last thing we did was add gender there. So for other people can still fill their gender space. So I think when you add anybody, you can still fill in that gender. What we'll do is that we're going to go into edit profile. So going to work with Alex. So alex@gmail.com. .com. Password. So when I refresh, so if you see what we have here, we just have where we stopped last time, all this little design. So I have this space so we can be able to put our user. So when our user registers, the image, you can put his profile image here. So we have this home. I think the home leads you here. Setting is not taking us anywhere, but the logout is working perfectly well. So in edit profile, so that's what we are working on, edit profile. So now let's continue writing the edit profile. So now back to where we stopped. So edit profile. So instead of our edit profile, let me expand this. So let me be sure everything we need. So country, so the names. So we are also going to add, using what we wanted to add gender as part of it. So we're going to add the gender here. So let me go to register and see how we added gender. I think we're going to copy that same command we use in adding gender and bring it here. So this is it. So I'm going to copy from here to this point, Ctrl C, to go to that edit profile and paste it anywhere, doesn't matter. Ctrl V, so paste it here. So the name that we are using, remember the name has to be the same since we are using what radio. So the name has to be the same. So I'm going to copy this name that we used here. You can change it to anything if you want. Let me change it to, let me call it gender, so it does not, so gender. I hope it does not affect it. Let me refresh. So there's no star. Okay, right, it's okay like this. So gender, so the person can click whichever one he or she is. So I'm going to copy this, so Ctrl C, go to the top. Alright, so we are going to, let me go back to the controller. Let's see if, so we're writing the edit profile and we have added the gender. So the edit profile, so we're passing the gender, the first name, middle name, last name. Okay, so our gender is before last name. Let me be sure that it's the same thing that we have inside our database, so we don't mistakenly, so gender, okay, username, then gender, so it's correct. So username, gender, country, occupation. So where our section, whoever is logging is equals to whatever is in that particular email. So where the email is equals to whoever is logged in. So now let's go into our edit profile and use this method. So let's use this method. So first thing first, let's start with question mark PHP. Let's open the PHP here. So we're going to say if is set. So if this the update only work if our name is set, if the submit name is set. So only when they click on the submit, it should only work only when they click on the submit. So but first let's require our PHP, our controller. Require once, so require once, so controller when it's not controller, so controller.php, close it. So now we're going to say if is set, if global parenthesis, if our submit global post submit is set. So if it's set, so like I said, it's never necessary to put the not empty, but I usually put it there, and not empty. So most time the not empty, you only know. Anyway, it's not a must to put the not empty. We can just stop it here, but okay, let me just put it anyway. So and not empty. So and not empty. So always make sure. So you always make sure you have this color bracket, because it's going to help you a lot whenever you're writing this coding, this backend. So and not empty. So now the next thing we're going to do is, so we're going to check if this whole box if these input fields are not empty. So we're going to start from to grab all of them. So remember, we have to be using what? Global post. So make sure you're using global post. So I'm going to say if, oh no condition, let's grab it. Let's grab our global post. So global post. So the first thing we have there is first name. So let's grab the first name, C STT. So grabbing it, comma. I'm going to duplicate this several times. For this will be for last name, and I think middle name is in the middle. Let me put middle name, and which one else? Let me see. I think it's email. So it does not matter if it corresponds. I'm just trying to follow the pattern. So it doesn't, at this point here, it does not matter if it corresponds in this this place we are writing it. So next thing we have again is the gender. See, come here, global post, gender. So next thing again we have is email and the occupation country. So email, occupation, country. So this for email. Okay, now that's it. The thing is that we are not editing email. I've forgotten that we are not editing email, so we get rid of email. So the only thing we are editing is going to be username. So gender, occupation, and the country. I think that's all. So we are not so that's all. So we're going to assign this all into a new variable that we're going to use. So I'm going to call the variable this one first name. So variable middle name, write the middle name variable, and the variable, so variable last name, variable variable this for username, so variable username, so variable gender, so variable gender. Next thing we have is variable occupation, variable occupation, and the next one we have is, I think this one is tiny, so variable occupation, variable variable country, so variable country. So That is it. So the next thing we need to do is to check. We have just grabbed all the whole data inside of the form. So these are the data we are updating. So I hope this is all. Let me check so I don't make mistake. First name, last name. I have all that up here. Middle name, gender. So we disabled the email because we're not going to be using it. We have the occupation country, so that's all. So that's everything. So we need to check if they are empty, because if they are not empty we can't update. So we're going to say if parentheses, so user is not so we're going to say not empty, so if this is not empty, if this is not empty, and right, middle name not empty and last name not empty. So we always be careful about this AI that usually predicts things for you, because if you notice it's always, whenever it predicts, it does not give me the completion, the closing bracket. So if in case you are using it, you're going to have problem. If you don't know, you have to look very well. So because this error I just had to see. So next thing we want to do, and username not empty, and the gender not empty, an occupation and country not empty. So remember to, it has a closing bracket, then put your, so this is it. So it's actually helping us by the, it is not, this will call register. So if it is not if it is not empty, we means what, continue. But if it is empty, we want it to do what, say else, parentheses, we want it to do what, echo all field are required. Oh, do we really need this in the edit box to edit? We don't really need, okay, yeah, we need all the field. So what we're going to do is, before we make this work, since we are doing it like this, we don't want every field to be empty, I'm going to bring a functionality that is going, a function or a method that is going to output our user. We need to output, so that in this place you'll be seeing, your user will be seeing their information, the edit profile. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab all data. So I will use from here, already written the code. So grab all data, okay. I'm going to use it. Let me explain these two methods I just put. So I'm going to go to control. I'm going to use this method. Now what is this method doing? So let me paste it before the edit profile. So let me paste it before the edit profile. Paste it here, control V. So the first method here is to get the user information by section. So we are trying to do a select from what is this table where email is what equals to what, whoever is inside of our section. So another way all this thing is that even though we're not using this particular one, so we're also saying here also get user to by what, whoever is passed in as where the ID is particular. So this one may be only when you want to get an individual person. Anyway, it's the same thing. So just to get where their ID is equals to the particular what ID, to get select from this user where the ID is equals to whoever ID is being passed there. So return whatever we want it to return. So this So I'm going to be using this method. So I want to use this method to grab. So because this method is grabbing whoever is logged in, so I'm going to use this method here to do what? Output whoever is inside of my database. So this method works on its own. So all I'll do is I'm going to grab this, Control C, and I'm going to go into my edit profile, and I'm going to go down. So now what I'll do is, instead of the value, this does not have value, so we need to put value inside. There's no value. There's no value, so we're going to put the value inside. Value. So now when we did the HTML, we talked about this value. So this value has one unique job. One of them is to output the user. It contains an actual value that is being sent to the backend. So this value is what we are going to use to output the user. So the user will be saying that he has already been registered, can see his own presence, his own name, his own identity, whatever he used and register. So instead of here, we're going to open PHP, because we are trying to write it inside of this space here is HTML, so we need to write PHP inside of this HTML. So we need to open the PHP here. So PHP. So let me close it. So this right there error just leave. So we're going to say do what? I want it to do what? Echo what? So remember what we call our class. You know we are dealing with objects, so we need to call the name of our object. So call, then arrow, control V. See that? Just like this. So in between this place now, you're telling you know what is inside of the database. So inside of our database we have what? We have an input. We want it to echo what is inside of the database. So that value, what is supposed to be passed inside of here will be what? Whatever is inside of the database. According to the function, let me say it again. So according to the function, we're saying do what? Select all inside of the database. Select inside of the everything instead of what? This particular our user table, where the email is equals to whoever is logged in. So we are telling you to do a fetch it as associative array and pass it inside of the row. So return the row and return whatever value that is inside of the database that we want it to return. So if it is first name, you pass first name here. If it is last name, you pass last name. It will return your last name, the person's last name. If it is email, is going to return you the person's email. So that's how we're going to use it here. So instead of here, we're going to say return us, because of we are going to connect the database. Let's say return us what? First name. That's exact. Make sure it's exactly what you wrote inside the database. So this is what I wrote in the database. Let me be sure. I think it was an error. How to finish it? Let me see. Right. See, it changed to Friday. That is the person's name. So I'm going to also change the other ones. So let's do the same thing. I'm just going to copy the whole value, Ctrl C. I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to change this to middle name. So the person's middle name is going to be visible there. So middle name. So also here I'm going to paste it again. It's going to be for the last name. Here is, so make sure you are putting it in the right field. So here is, this is the okay, that's okay, this is username. So how do I output it for the, so username. So for the gender, yes, how do I put gender? I'll just pass the value there. Let's see how this one's going to work. So V, going to pass gender, pass gender, and let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to repeat the same thing over for the three of them. So I think So gender. So gender. So now for the email, so even though we are not trying to edit the email, we need to review the email so the user will see his email. So the user is not going to be able to edit his email, so we're just going to pass it here. So we're going to say email. So for the occupation v, occupation, and okay, now for the country, let me pass it here. Let me see. Let me see this country. I've not used it in this manner before. So the mail is actually not showing for the country. We need to show in the country. Okay, I'll pass it here. So country. Okay, now I figure something for the gender. I know what I'm going to do. The gender. So for the country, so there's no need, since we are trying to reveal something. I don't really think it's necessary just using that radio that we have been using there. So the radio should be only used only when you are registering. Not showing here. Anyway, does it? I don't really think this one doesn't matter. Let's work on this particular gender. So the gender is not showing whichever one we want. So actually right now it's going to work, but I want it to be showing me whatever the person puts inside the database. So let's delete this. Let me remove this gender entirely. Before I remove it, let me just copy this. Control C down to this point. Control C. So I'm going to remove everything from this point down to this one where the others end. So going to get rid of it. So now I'm going to use this kind of field, just an input field. So the user is not selecting. It makes more sense because the user is not trying to select choose a gender. He has already chosen the gender from the register form. So what the user is trying to do now is edit, maybe so that he or she would see whatever he put as gender. So he or she will see whatever he puts as gender. So make sure you edit it too. Yeah. So this is for gender. Even though this placeholder is now rendered useless, it's not going to work anymore because we have now used the person's value to replace it. So placeholder does not work. So here I'm just going to write gender, just writing it, so in case you want to edit it. Okay, and this one and this one. So gender, so let me go and refresh. Right, you see now, since we are doing this now, you will notice something now. Now there will be problem if whenever you're making, maybe you want to use this gender as this male, you need to filter this whatever the person is going to type. You see that this thing is outputting us in lowercase. So what about if your user start typing something in capital letter, and that capital letter can have a problem inside the database? So maybe you are trying to use the gender for anything in the database, and your users start writing gender and mistakenly probably just write it and write something that you, now we're going to perform a logic now, and you're going to notice that. So because of that, I'm going to wrap this thing to lowercase, so that whatever the user inputs now must always be what? Lowercase. So this gender must be lowercase. So whatever enters of the database, so we're going to say string to lower. So we are converting the gender to lowercase, so that in case you are writing any function with this gender, you will not have error. So think now if somebody comes here and fills, so let's say the person changes, say female, let's, oh, we have not performed the other function. All we just did now is we have not performed the edit function yet, so we need to perform the edit function. So let's go down to the edit. So I'm going to copy this, so it's always better to come here and copy it so you don't make mistake. Also it's very easy to just, so come here. So I'm going to remember that you are dealing with an object, so you're going to say $sign, the name of your object, put the arrow, control V. Now make sure it matches each other, so I have to just make sure the two of them matches. So first name is for this, middle name, last name, username, and check the cap locks if it works the same. Okay, it doesn't matter here, the occupation comes before, it doesn't matter. Only what matters is that this part here must be what? The same with whatever is in controller. That is the only thing that matters. So next thing we're going to do is make sure you close this, otherwise you're going to be receiving error. So now let's prepare for the error message that's going to come with it. So we need to write our error message. So we're going to assign this to a new variable called variable, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call call it like this. So, and same thing, I'm going to assign, I'm going to do the same thing for this hour. If this thing is not empty, we will need to remove this echo, because we're now echoing the error at the top. So Control V, so paste it like this, so that if there's error, the error enters inside the message. So when we echo this message, the message can either, this variable can either return you what? An error, or can return you what? The success message. So we said in our controller the success message is indicated by what? 1. So now let me use what we use in our register. So the error message, the success message we have in our register, we are going to use it. So let me copy from here down to this point. So Control C. So I'm going to go to that edit profile, and I'm going to scroll down to this point. So Control V. So let's change things up. So we say if message is set, our own message here is not this, so it comes with an E. So if it's set, it comes with an E. Now if it is set, what we want it to do is what? Continue. If it's set, we want it to continue. That's if there is a message to output, we want it to continue. Else, if there is no message, we want it to do what? Echo what? Update user, update user. That's what we wanted to do. So now we told you to continue if the message, if there's a message. So now what happened? How do we know if there's a message? We are saying what if message is equals to 1 based on what we did here. So the 1 indicates that this thing is successful, our edit profile is successful. So if message is equals to this 1, so let's go back there. If message is equals to 1, meaning that it is what? Successful. So we should do what? Print out this text success, so which is in green. So else it should print out whatever error message that comes with it, which is going to be, I think this is going to be in E. So else print out the error message that comes. It could be error message can still be this or field read, or the error message that comes, the error message inside of the controller. So let me remove this large space. So let's go and try this. Let's check if it's working. So okay, this style comes with my, so it's a style that comes with the page anyway. I just so now let me change things up. Let me change both country. First I want to change to Australia. Wait, can I check something before I be sure? This, because I think my user need to know the country he already filled in. So should I pass this? Let me see where I'll pass this and it will be visible. I've not used this. I haven't used this bootstrap to write some country before, so I usually write it. Let me see if it's going to be visible. No, not visible. Should I pass it? Should I pass it here? Should I pass it here? Okay, okay, it's actually working here. It's actually working here, but it's not working as okay. Let me see something. So Belarus that we choose before, so it changes it. That's all I need. So that's all I need. So all I need here, I've already done it. So what I'll do is I'm going to get rid of this value. I don't really think I need it again. Don't need this either. So this is going to work exactly. I think, let me refresh. Right, it's working perfectly now. So if you pick a new country, so right, it's working good now. So refresh, it's back to that whatever the user put there. So I think this can change. So let's put a different, let me change this name. I'm going to change it to a female. So let's say Anna Green Alexin. So still remains Alexin. So female. So see the capital I put there. So you see that because of we put that string to lower, it's going to convert it. So email does not change because that's our unique ID. So this person has to be something else. Let me give her nurse, and from country Randus success. So you see that's changed, and if you go to the database and check now, it's already changed. So you go to the database, let's go and check the database. So this was what was there, Friday, Jane, and the same. But the moment I refresh on the database, you see Anna Green Anderson Alexen. So it has changed. So our edit profile is working perfectly. So next thing we're going to do is, so our edit profile is working perfectly, but the next thing we're going to do is to create for we're going to create a file where we're going to edit our user. We're going to input user info profile picture. So that one is going to be very, very simple. Let me create it. So let me say user, or let's say profile. So profile image dot php. So this is our next, whatever we're doing next. So let me just let me bring in, already have written an HTML that I'm going to use there. So let me use the HTML. I think I have some HTML already written. Yeah. So let me use whatever I styled here. I'm going to explain the HTML. It's just HTML. So Control C. You can choose to style it your own way. I'm just trying to pass it so you can be able to view it. So when we come next, we're just going to again get rid of this. I don't have any proper image, so get rid of this. So it's just HTML. So get rid of this. So get rid of this. So next lecture we're also going to be doing put delete and edit profile picture. So let me see. I think they're giving me warning. So let's output this and let's see how it looks like. So get rid of this so it does not. Nothing else. So let me link this profile image. So let's go into, so I'm going to go back to the home. So This is supposed to be for profile picture. When you click here, so in home, so it's going to be very simple. Just to the home, that is which is our, so the home. So we start that drop down. So look at it here. So here we're going to pass of this edit profile picture, we're going to pass our profile image, profile image dot php, what we profile image dot php. So let's try to refresh. Let me see. Refresh. So when I click on this now, it's supposed to direct me there. Right, it's working perfectly. So just a design. So when you click on this, so let me explain all this I have here. So when you click on this is just a form. So it has give you access to your form. Let me open the code so we can be able to see it. So we just have, instead of that edit profile image, just have just some edit profile image. We just have HTML code, just HTML. So we have the first form, which is for what? Uploading what? Image. So now remember, whenever you are trying to upload, you want to use what? The input type file. So you want to use the input type file, you always use what? Enc type multi-path data, because you want to upload profile picture. So based on what we did in our previous lecture when we were learning PHP. So here you have to put the multi-path form data there because you're uploading a picture. So next thing again we have to do is we have is our input type file. So and the submit button to submit it, which is this green bar here. So next thing we have again is another form, and this form will be for deleting. So all we just need is, what we have there is what we have, the delete button, just a delete button, nothing else. So just a delete button, I think. So just a delete button. So you can, my styling here seems to look a little bit horrible. You can just apply your style. So I want, when you click on this, it deletes. So here we upload, this place will upload images and submit. So I'm just using here as a place where you'll be seeing your profile image for this part. So when we come in our next lecture, we are going to continue from here. So we're being warned. So let me pose this for you. So I'm going to pose the controller. So controller, what we did now, and I'm going to pose the edit profile. So next thing I'm going to post is this edit profile picture. I'll post the home first. So I just made an I just added this stuff here. You can add it, but let me just post it for you guys. So post it so you see it again. So post it onto V. So next thing I'm going to post is the profile image I just added in. So I think that is all. So see you in our next lecture. So if you have anything just that seems to be difficult inside of your as you're working on it, you can still just uh, type it, post it online, let's see.